In this lesson, we're going to talk about distractions. I'm sure your dog's doing pretty good with walking and place homework, but it's tough to work on those skills with distractions, like new people at the door or to pass by another dog. That's where today's lesson is going to come in handy. You and your dog will start getting comfortable in those uncomfortable situations. I brought my dogs, and we're going to recreate those distracting situations to make your dog bulletproof in a safe learning environment. The first thing we're going to do is get your dog outside on one of my place boards to warm them up. Since it's a new place, we'll spend a couple of minutes getting your dog comfortable with the new object first. I won't use the collar or commands at first if they're not comfortable with the new object. I'll try patting it or put my body weight on it until they're comfortable. Once your dog is comfortable with the new object, we'll call it place. If your dog leaves the object, we'll go right back to the floor as lava and help them with the leash if needed. Once your dog is comfortably sitting, I want to redefine the definition of sit. Right now, the word sit means put your butt down and stay. During this lesson, it'll mean put your butt down, stay there, and pay attention to us. Other trainers try and attempt this, but they end up using too many words, and that can get really confusing for your dog. They say silly things like whoa, wait, stay, look. Instead, in order to make it easy for you and your dog, we'll just use the word sit. It means put your butt down, stay there, and pay attention to us. First, we're going to use something stationary that your dog likes to look at, like a bowl of treats or a family member, to teach them this new skill. I'll be using my dog as a distraction soon, but we want to make sure your dog understands the concept before the enormous distraction comes out. Tell your dog to sit and slowly adjust the levels until I see they're feeling the collar. I'll then help them lightly with leash pressure until they attempt to turn away from the distraction. As soon as they do, I'll release them and give them a mental break or give them a treat. I then get your dog back on the place and ask for their attention again. Then I start to have the small distraction move a little bit. If your dog has a hard time paying attention, I stop the distraction just to make it easier for your dog until it has better success. This is a pretty easy concept for most dogs I train because they already know the heel command from the last lesson. Heel means walk and don't look over there. This is the same thing except with less movement. There are a couple of easy tricks I use to help control the dog with the leash and remote in these situations. First, try using 2 fingers on the remote. Get comfortable making adjustments with 1 finger on the dial, another finger on the C button. It'll increase your speed big time and allow you to get back down to baseline levels super fast. I'm also holding the leash with 2 hands. In the beginning, everyone wants to wrap the leash with 1 hand and try and work the remote with the other hand. This dangerous maneuver rarely works, and your dog can build up a ton of speed. To fix that, I put the remote and the loop of the leash in the same hand. My other hand is now free to grab the lower part of the leash to help the dog if needed. And last, I'm constantly putting my body on the opposite side of the distraction. Your human brain wants to try and block your dog from the distraction with your body. That never works, and your dog will quickly go around you. Instead, stand to the opposite side of the distraction. It makes working the leash so much easier. Once your dog understands the concept, my dog will come out of the van. Your dog will probably get distracted and turn around and say, "Hey, are you here to see me?" We will then tell your dog sit. And technically your dog will be sitting, but they won't be paying attention to us. So we'll tell your dog sit and adjust the level slowly until we get their attention. I not only want your dog's attention, but I'm looking to have your dog turn their back on my dog. But that's really hard to do. That's like me saying, "Hey, monster's behind you. Don't turn around, but the monster's gonna get you." Now that a big distraction's present, it'll take a couple tries to get your dog's attention and to start paying attention to us. Most dogs try and negotiate with us. They'll try and look over their left shoulder and then their right shoulder. Then they'll fall off of place and look at my dog while they're getting back on. They'll exhaust all their options, but eventually they'll give up and pay attention to us. Now in real life, your dog only has to pay attention for a couple of seconds at a time around a big distraction. Next to a dog or a rabbit or at the door, you only have a couple seconds to get the levels appropriate. And that usually turns into a losing battle for us humans. Instead, during this lesson, my dog will be able to help you and your dog work on getting comfortable around distractions. My dog will stand there for 20 minutes if that's what it takes to get your dog to calm down and start paying attention to us and not the distraction. Now, I'm not telling you or your dog to never look at another dog again. That's not fun for anyone. I'm just trying to prove to your dog that it's possible to pay attention and I can grab their attention at a moment's notice. From here on out, with any command you give, feel comfortable adding pressure with slowly adjusting levels to get your dog's attention. An example would be if you tell your dog come and they're coming to you, but they smell something good or they see another dog, you can slowly turn up the levels until you get their attention. Another example would be you're at a brewery and your dog keeps flirting with another dog across the bar. You can now tell him sit and slowly add pressure until you get their attention and they stop flirting. Once your dog's doing good, we'll allow it to start to look a little bit at my dog. But once it starts to stare like a creeper, we'll then go through the same process until it sit, until it breaks the stare. After your dog can control itself, my dog will start to increase the distractions by barking or running to different areas, forcing you and your dog to pivot and keep their attention if needed. Once your dog's doing good, we'll switch roles. Your dog will walk by in the heel position, while my dog will try and distract your dog. If your dog has a hard time, my dog will lay down or move further away from us. If your dog is doing good, my dog will then start to increase the distractions. Once your dog's doing good, we will transition to that walk command. In review, this is the same position as heel, but now your dog can look and sniff a little bit, but not like a creeper. Again, if your dog starts to stare or sniff too much, we'll tell him walk and add pressure with added levels, just like everything else, until you get their attention. After a couple times walking by comfortably, we'll start to introduce the 3-second hello. With this drill, we'll allow the dogs to say hi for 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, we will then continue with the walk command. 3-second hellos are essential to say hello to other dogs when you're on leash. Most dogs, fight or flight happens while on leash after those 3 seconds. This is also a good skill to have when getting your dog's attention when they're playing with their friends. It turns their dog park brain off and their listening brain on. If all goes well at this lesson, it'll open up a world of training opportunities for new distractions for you and your dog. Our next lesson will be in public at a park. Instead of using my controlled distractions, we can use real-world distractions to work around. And you guys are more than welcome to start attending group class. I wanted to make sure your dog could handle itself with my dogs before we added in the distractions of the group class. All the information's in the group class video and notes. Your homework will be start looking for trouble. If you see another dog, try and heel your dog past it. Or if your dog's doing good, try and pass it in the walk command, or even try the let's go command. Try giving your dog more and more freedom with their eyes and nose. But don't be afraid to tighten back up into that heel position if needed. If you and your dog are not ready to pass by other dogs on the sidewalk yet, no problem. You can practice using a dog behind a fence. You could even start across the street, then eventually get closer and closer to the distraction until you can do it comfortably.